Welcome to Greer's Rod Shop. I'm Trey, and it's time to finish the disassembly of the Mustang. I've stripped almost everything out of the car, and I've labeled, bagged, and stored all the parts. To finish up, I'm going to remove the front and rear suspension, strip the engine compartment, and remove all the wiring looms. Come on in. I started with the rear suspension, and I positioned my transmission jack under the rear differential. Also, I pre-soaked all the connections with PB Blaster penetrating oil. This really made it easier for them to come apart. I had already removed the sway bar, so I was ready to start removing the axle. All the control arm bolts at the axles came out pretty easy, especially after I applied a little heat with a torch to the stubborn ones. Once everything was loose, I disconnected the brake lines and the emergency brake cables and lowered the axle out of the way. The lower control arms at the body were not so easy to get out. They were rusted solid to the steel sleeve that goes through the control arm bushing. I tried using heat, but finally I just had to cut the bolts with a reciprocating saw. Here are all the parts from the rear suspension removed from the car. You can see that the control arms are very rusty, so I will discard those and replace them. Also, the springs and the sway bar will be replaced with a high-performance version of each. The front suspension is much more involved, a whole lot more pieces and parts to remove. I started by removing the struts and the spindles. Removing the coil springs was a bit of a challenge. They were very uncooperative. In order to get the spring out, you have to get the lower control arm to droop far enough. Mine was too tight. These nuts were way too tight to get undone. I'm gonna have to work on those in some other way, but I needed this out of the way. So since it wouldn't droop far enough, I took this ratchet strap, wrapped it around, hooked it to the other side of the lift, and slowly ratcheted it down until the spring basically popped loose. My intention was not to go that far, but just get the tension off of it so I could pop it out of the bottom, but I think it's pretty well rusted into the bottom, so the top came loose pretty easy. You can Google spring removal. LMR.com has a nice little video about removing the springs. There's plenty of places that tell you how to do it, but you don't have to compress them, you just have to get this down far enough. After I had the coil springs removed, I took off the X-brace that helped stiffen the chassis. Next came the sway bar and the steering rack, and finally I was ready to remove the K-member. I used my transmission jack again to lower it out of the way. With the motor having been removed earlier, I have complete access to all of the other stuff in the engine compartment. I started at the front with the AC condenser and then moved on to removing all the other things, carefully labeling vacuum hoses and wires and taking lots of pictures as I went along. I spent several afternoons carefully removing and documenting everything from the wiper motors to the smog equipment to the brake lines and all the body plugs. Finally, everything but the wiring looms is removed. To start taking out the wiring looms, I grabbed a couple of body trim removal tools to make it easier to pop the clips loose from the body. I also enlisted number 3 to give me a hand. We started at the trunk and worked our way toward the dash. I took many pictures and labeled everything as we went. Next, I went into the engine compartment where there are 2 big runs down each side of the engine bay. Finally, I finished at the ECU under the dash. Even though the looms look like a bunch of spaghetti, they were very logically organized. I coiled them up and stored them carefully for restoration later. The last task was to strip the interior insulation to make sure there was no rust hiding out under those areas. YouTube has several videos of people using dry ice either in a bag or a slurry to freeze the asphalt. Well, I was disappointed. It didn't work very well for me. It was most effective after it sat for about 15 minutes, but it still didn't work as good as I saw on YouTube. You can see it peeling up in big sheets, but that was because it wasn't really stuck down that good to begin with. I tried a heat gun next, and that was the most effective on my car. I didn't heat it too much, just enough so that the putty knife slipped easily under the insulation. Here it is, 99% stripped. At this point, I can see all the rusty areas and assess the repairs that will be necessary. The task list is complete. Now it's time to make a plan for the restoration and get started.